Science jerks. Science jerks. Science jerks. The rate of change in acceleration of science. Science jerks.
Welcome to the Science Jerks. I'm your host, Dave Chacho. With me is your host, also, Robert Chan.
Hi.
And we are back for the second episode with our delightful guest.
Ooh.
Is that better?
Better than special?
Better than special?
Do you prefer special or do you prefer delightful?
You know what? I'm happy that it changed a little bit. I'm multifaceted here. I like that.
Well, originally, last episode, I was thinking you were special. This episode, I have learned over the course of the past episode
That he is
that you're
also
delightful.
Well, thank you, sir.
How do you feel about inimitable?
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Yeah, the inimitable Michael Busch.
Can you be imitated?
I don't think
Is it
so.
possible?
I haven't seen anybody
I
imitate
don't
him.
think so.
But
I've
I
seen
mean,
people try, and I've
seen
had
people
to
try.
murder them.
Oh, let's
he
stop
was just
now.
doing it.
Inimitable Michael Busch.
You run a show at El Cid in Los Angeles.
Yeah, El Show. It's a monthly variety show. I run it with Sam Brown and Eric Moneypenny.
And you're involved with Nick Thune's new show.
Yeah, we have a show at UCB called Nick's Big Talk Show. It's a monthly show there. Kamuni, Nick Thune, lots of fun people. James Pumphrey.
Is the beer machine still a thing? One of my favorite, if you ever get a chance, one of my favorites beer-fueled improv groups in L.A. The Beer Machine with Michael Busch.
Yeah, that's a show that me and Jeff Sloniker and Curtis Rainsbury and Chad Fogland used to do probably more than is good for us, but we would do the show where we would each try and finish a six-pack on stage as we performed improv. And it was always interesting to watch. I don't know if it was always...
We're talking about in 15 to 20 minutes,
Yeah,
probably?
Yes. I'm pretty sure Curtis has puked after one or two of the shows, immediately after. But yeah, it's always entertaining, not necessarily good improv, but I think the last one we did, we just started spitting beer in each other's faces for a while.
Yeah, you did an extended scene of spit takes that was sincerely hilarious.
I like to think of the show as the science machine. It's not necessarily good science, but it's entertaining.
And it
Try
just
to
keeps going.
Chug six-pack of science stories.
Let's chug some science.
Psychobiology.
Monkey brains keep track of kindnesses.
Aw.
Chacho here with Chan and our guest Michael Busch.
Wait a minute, you're saying that, like, you keep track of them with monkey brains? Monkey brains in jars? Like, this person did a
I
good thing for
suppose
me.
you could-
Here is a monkey brain.
You could, like, just instead of putting a little chalk mark on the
Yeah.
chalkboard, just
Yeah.
hang a monkey brain each time
I mean,
you do a good job.
You certainly wouldn't forget. You'd have the monkey brain with you
True.
to remind you. It's not a thing that you can just dismiss out of hand.
Well, there's a part of human brains that monkeys also share. So the idea is probably humans' brains do this too. But it literally like puts a little tick mark every time they're nice to somebody. They're not so much keeping track of other people's kindnesses. It's like they're tallying their own good deeds.
Oh, so they're very full of themselves, basically.
Yeah, so they get all fucking Mother Teresa on everybody's ass.
I know which part of the brain this is because it happens to me every goddamn Christmas. I go out and buy a bunch of presents for people and they don't always, like get reciprocated. And
So
the front part of my brain is like, that's cool. I'm just doing it as a kindness. In the back of my brain, tick, 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 tick. All right, you didn't get me nothing? Okay, you're
Just
on the shit
more
list.
people who fucking owe me. Your anterior cingulate gyrus
That's the one. Oh, yeah.
is
Yep.
overflowing.
It's
It's like sticking out the back of your head. You're such a kind person.
there is a lump back here, if you notice, right around that point.
Yeah, so if you find yourself doing good deeds that aren't returned, where this comes into evolution is it gives you a little jolt of adrenaline when you do nice things for people. So this is all in the anterior cingulate gyrus, which is part of the prefrontal cortex, which is involved in decision making. So
So it's like a core, one of the cores of altruism, where that
Right.
goes out of.
I mean, biologists and sociologists have argued about altruism for a long time. Why would you be nice to somebody if they weren't nice to you back?
Why be nice to them when you can punch them?
True.
Exactly. So while we were,
our hands weren't evolved to hand shit out. They were evolved for fighting.
While we were evolving fists for punching faces, we were evolving brains to do nice things.
Oh, the eternal push-pull struggle.
Here's a flower, here's a punch. Here's a flower, here's a punch.
Always keep them guessing.
And that's the way to be happy. is
Is to alternate
is what we
flowers and
say.
punches.
Your fists will be happy with your punching, and your brain will be happy with your altruism.
That's why you don't let the right hand know what the left hand is doing. I never got that.
The right hand is doing some disgusting things. Let me tell you.
Well, wait a minute. I thought we were still on the flower punching thing. You saying that the right hand is punching while the left hand's jerking off?
Which is kind of similar.
No.
This is a dirty,
Lot of-
dirty show.
lot
It is
ways.
It is a. we are the science machine. Yeah.
My science theory is that fists were evolved for punching munchkins.
And that's why there are no munchkins anymore.
Are you talking about the little hobbit people, the Homo florensis?
I'm talking about shellac and shillelaghs,
Are you
jerkin gherkins. Talking about science, people. Talking about science.
You were using a lot of scientific words, so we
A
were
lot of
just kind
scientific
throwing-
Right,
terms for
right.
punching little things.
I don't think you know how to masturbate.
Do you punch your dick, Dave? Is that what's going
That's
on?
not
here?
that's not what the rest of us do.
That's all you guys are doing? Oh, I'm so angry and so bruised.
Did your mom teach you how to masturbate? Is that what happened?
Wait a minute. Did your mom divorce your dad, then teach you how to masturbate as a way to get back at all of mankind, like dudes?
And by teaching, you mean punching me in the face.
This is eventually you'll be doing this on your own, son. But for now, let me take care of this for you.
I might be destroying my genitalia, but I'm making little tick marks in my brain every time because I'm doing a good deed for myself.
Yay me!
Transportology.
Roller coaster of love. Roller coaster.
I did not think that this was going to start with a Bad Chili Peppers song.
The best Chili Pepper song.
Isn't it a cover song?
It is a cover. Yeah,
It's a
the other
70s
thing.
song, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Although I do not remember who sang it originally, and I feel bad about that because
Yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, the actual best song that the Chili Peppers ever did was their cover of Stevie Wonder's "Higher Ground."
Under a bridge.
So no,
Under the bridge?
No, under bridges.
Under
bridges,
some kind of bridge.
like a bridge over troubled water. That's
that Chili Peppers
Hiatus,
too?
right? Is that it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was
Okay,
a
cool.
solo.
The Ohio Players originally recorded
okay.
Love Roller
Yes.
Coaster.
They are also the ones who did the song "Fire" that Hell's Kitchen uses as a theme song. The Ohio Players, very good band.
But not scientists.
No, completely off track. We were talking about roller coasters.
Of love.
Tokyo's University Institute of Industrial Science, with the help of amusement ride firm Senyo Kogyu, created Eco Ride, which is basically a monorail type commuting train that uses very little energy. What they do is they use roller coaster physics. You have kind of an undulating track, goes up and down, and as you go down, it uses that energy and travels you along using next to no energy. The carriages are light, so it doesn't take much to get them to go.
Doesn't the up cancel the down? I don't understand. I guess
Then it goes
basically
down
they're
again.
saying when it goes down,
It builds momentum,
coasts.
and then it goes up on that energy, and then...
And there is some energy used. Like there are little winches that's kind of, once you get partway up that hill, then it takes you up a little bit more, and then you go back down again.
It has the chain that drags it up to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
top.
There's
But
a guy
it's-
with a crank at the one end of it. Yeah.
There are
Are
little
there
hamsters and
carnies
wheels.
involved with this system? Because actually, like riding the bus system in LA is not a whole lot different than hanging out with carnies
Yes.
24 hours a day.
Yes.
But I'm not sure I want them monitoring the subway systems.
I imagine in Japan, carnivals are a little different. Totally different culture. Maybe they're nicer there.
You can win young girls' underwear there instead of stuffed animals.
Yes.
It'd be much less creepy than American carnies. The Japanese carnies are polite, but very repressed. And they're all wearing little Sailor Moon costumes under their business suits.
So you're saying that the carnies are wearing business suits?
The Japanese
in
carnies.
The
In
Japanese
Japan,
carnies? Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page, that we're all drawing the same pictures in our heads
Oh, of course.
of a Japanese carnival that are selling like teeny tiny girls' panties. Then like as you gain tickets, you can trade it in for like the giant little girls' panties.
Right, exactly.
The top shelf.
And the people who
Soil
are running
panties.
these machines are all wearing business suits.
I don't think it's out
But
of line to
underneath they have
suggest
Sailor
that
Moon outfits.
all Japanese men are wearing business suits with Sailor Moon outfits underneath them.
I would say that that's you shouldn't generalize.
Is that a generalization?
Like 80%.
I'm not saying
probably
Japanese
normal.
Americans. I'm not saying Japanese guys we know. I'm saying people in Japan.
Right. We'll put it at 80%. I think that's a solid fair number.
Because there are old people who don't go in for that newfangled stuff.
Sure.
I'm still going with all.
Yeah, basically the idea is that if you can get this thing lifted up 10 meters, then the train will be able to coast 400 meters. So the idea is that this is, economical and ecologically safe and also fucking fun. Monorails, yeah, you just go in a straight line. But this, you're just going up and down and up and down.
I don't
to
think
get to
this
work,
is actually
to
any
get
different
to
than a
work.
monorail, except it doesn't have an engine and it's just coasting along.
And it's awesome. You
think-
forgot to add that.
It sounds like a sexy roller coaster of love.
Hells yeah!
I think
you
it
get the
sounds
Ohio
like-
players. The Ohio players aren't doing shit now.
It
You
sounds
get
like a
them
trick
on the
that
train.
your mom tricks you into enjoying the ride on the subway. It's actually a roller coaster, little Chan.
I'll have you know that I enjoy riding the subways, even in Los Angeles, which are kind of crummy. Still,
And your mom does call you little Chan, right?
she does. Because why wouldn't she? Even though I hulk over her and have since I was 9 years old, she still calls me Little Chan.
So I mean, they're storing up
Kinetic
potential energy at the beginning by
Yeah.
putting it high, and then sort of like it coasts downhill all the way around town, and then they winch it back up. I guess.
Yeah, well, it's sort of the up and down thing. As it goes down and builds up that energy, and then as it goes up, it uses up that energy, and then you kind of winch it to get it up lit just over
so
and
you
then
use
back
the
down again.
I guess you use the up to slow down when you're getting to a stop, and then it stores more potential energy and it goes down.
Yeah. But it's the
Kinda
thing
cool.
is, it's nice. It's low tech. It's really inexpensive. So they're thinking places that were like hit by the tsunami last year. This would be a good idea to try and put it in there because you're not spending tens of millions of dollars. Well, you are, but it's less than what you would have to throw in a bullet train, for example.
It'd be 11s of millions of dollars.
11s of millions of dollars. There are other technologies available, kind of similar to the electric cars. They generate energy when they're braking or going down hills and that sort of thing. So it's not necessarily the most economical. They're doing tests to find out which is the best, and then they'll probably implement it because they're Japan and they only do cool shit over there.
I approve.
Yeah.
Is this another step towards the entire city of Los Angeles being Disneyland, basically?
That would be awesome, but that's not going to happen because motherfucking Beverly Hills is going to say, no, we don't want trains.
We don't want roller coaster
cars.
subways
We don't
all over
want
our town."
brown people around us, which is the subtext of pretty much everything ever said by the citizens of Beverly Hills.
Well, it's understandable, really.
Fists.
Mutantology.
Which sounds sexier, a mutant army or a biomod army? No, it's like a question. That's not like a rhetorical thing. I want to know because
Is there like a swimsuit competition or?
yes, we're gonna have genetically enhanced models in Miss Universe next year. It's gonna be pretty sexy. They'll be doing the swimsuit. Then they'll be doing they'll be military pressing cars over their heads.
Is Rebecca Romaine Stamos, whatever her name is now, going to be one of them?
Yes,
What is biomod?
human biological modification.
Oh, okay.
Super soldiers.
So that's like mutating someone after the fact, kind of?
I think they're calling them mutants just because of the X-Men movie. Now people sort of associate mutants with super people.
So if you're born with something, you're a mutant. If you're changed after you're born, you're a biomod? Is that what's going on?
No, not
What
at
if
all.
a mad scientist injects adamantine into your bones?
Then that's a biomod.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of a super soldier has been around for a long time. Back in the 90s, DARPA was pushing ahead. It wasn't so much really big, fancy, Captain America shit. It was just, let's, find new drugs and stuff to reduce susceptibility to stress, sleep deprivation, fatigue, that sort of thing. Calling it metabolic dominance. And it's kind of slowed down. They've kind of given up. They're ethical questions, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, if
Turning people into monsters? People have ethical problems with that?
man, you drink coffee. What does that do? Reduces your susceptibility to stress, sleep deprivation, fatigue. Why is it illegal for football players to get all modded out, I guess, but not, soldiers, I guess is part of the ethical question. Honestly, I want to see football players get roided the fuck out
and just tear each other's heads off.
Yes.
I think that there's only a matter of time before all sports are just open season on steroids and chemical modifications.
Well, I mean, the fact that DARPA's doing it suggests to me, obviously most of their projects I'm sure fail, but the whole point of DARPA is to do like way ahead thinking stuff.
Wait, sorry, what is DARPA?
The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It's where the internet came from, basically.
Oh.
One of many things that they were just, creating networks, and then it just sort of became a thing. And because it's government-funded thing, it just becomes free to the people. People like, oh, let me use that technology and find a way to commercialize it and make it useful. They do a lot of really cool stuff. Here, I'm hoping, that this sort of technology, using it to make soldiers better, eventually comes down to us in the form of like 5-hour energy that actually works,
We're trying to create unsleeping, unblinking killing machines.
Or unsleeping, unthinking cubicle machines.
Oh.
Huh?
Yeah.
If you had to go into work for 8 hours a day and you just kind of zone out, get into your super soldier zone, you don't even need the internet, man.
None
You
of that
just
sounds
type away. Spreadsheet, baby. Bam, 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 bam.
I don't want to work in a cubicle, nor do I want to be super at it.
This is the future, Dave.
I
Accept
know.
it. It's coming. You will be a part of it.
You will live in your cubicle.
There's one of the researchers here. His name is Andrew Hare, which
Sounds suspiciously German again.
honestly, that's a problem. If your name is German and you're doing super science, trying to make mutant super
the
soldiers,
superior race.
you should absolutely
Is that what
change
we're
your
talking
name.
about?
Andrew Smith. How about that?
Blondes just make better soldiers. I don't know why.
Bleach your hair! Bleach it!
If he was a Goldstein or something, I feel like I'd be more comfortable with super Jews, I guess.
So yeah, they're doing things like enhancing memory and focus and that sort of thing. Honestly, there's not a whole lot that's sort of out of line. Although they're talking about doing things like modifying DNA to achieve these ends, sort of permanent rather than just injecting them with stuff. And then there's also the other side of it, which is maybe we could infect people with specially tailored viruses that modify DNA and ruin
Make their
entire
eyes shoot
populations.
lasers.
No, the opposite, using them as weapons.
Oh.
So
Make their eyes not do anything.
making their eyes explode out of their heads.
Don't we already have these sort of genetic modifications called like bombs?
Well, yeah,
These are
but
people bombs.
That genetically modify your arms and legs off.
that's how they did it back in the 1900s. This is the after 2000s where we do some fancy science work.
Where all real science takes place.
Yes, this is real science. Bombs.
Yeah, this goes all the way back to 2002, the early days of science.
Wow.
Did you mention this? It was called the Metabolic Dominance Initiative. That was the original program that was trying to create. It all sounds rather suspiciously
Awesome. Rather suspiciously awesome.
sinister.
Could you imagine being able to stay up all night playing Call of Duty?
I can.
And then
I have
going right into
terrible
work at your
insomnia.
cubicle and making them spreadsheets, just banging them out. Then getting home, popping a couple pills, maybe rejigger your DNA a little bit. Stay up playing Call of Duty all night and then going to work and doing it all over
I
again.
already take meds to try to sleep. I don't need meds to not sleep.
You're just really excited
Maybe
about
I-
doing spreadsheets. This is what I'm
Man.
getting out of this.
Maybe I am a super soldier. Or
you are.
insomniacs that stay up all night watching TV and playing video games. Super? Is this the
They're super
definition?
at something. I don't know that soldiering is what they're
Super
good at.
masturbation.
We're creating an army of super masturbators. They will have the focus, the intensity, the drive that we need to stay on top of the porn industry.
And punch their dick all night long.
He's masturbating more efficiently than anyone we've ever seen.
It's time for a quiz.
It's time for a quiz. We're here with Quizmaster Elizabeth Ebeling. How you doing, Liz?
Woo, I'm feeling good.
You gonna drop some science on us?
You know it.
Love it.
Smoke us some science blunts.
Haha. For days.
Drink some shots of science.
Exactly. Speaking of, our
some
first
lines of
question
science.
of the night.
All right.
Alcohols are a whole class of chemical. Which is the fun one, though? Is it A, methanol, B, ethanol, C, isopropyl alcohol, or D, butanol?
I thought it was ethyl, and none of those were that. So I know the middle two aren't it. So what is the answer?
Been studying for
The
this.
answer is
so long.
B, ethanol.
What? No, that's what you put in your car.
Yeah.
No, because I guess
right?
it depends on how you define fun, but ethanol is the one in alcoholic beverages. Methanol or wood alcohol is a toxic and it causes blindness. Isopropyl is an alcohol that is commonly known as rubbing alcohol, and you shouldn't drink that either.
You can try.
Michael Busch.
Isn't methanol the one that's in absinthe, which is why you can
Because
go
yeah, that's
blind
like
if you
because
drink
it's made of that would make sense because it's a wood alcohol.
Oh, yeah, ethanol is the same thing you put in your car, though. It's basically corn alcohol.
In the Midwest, when you
One
fill up on
science Michael
ethanol,
Busch knows very well.
So I could just pour vodka into one of those cars, and it would go.
Yep.
until it melted. The problem with using alcohol as a fuel is it burns way hotter than gasoline.
Exactly. And
Okay.
that's actually what leads us to our next question.
Oh, you guys both got that right?
Yes.
I'm the only asshole.
I did not. I put the wrong answer.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. At least I'm not alone in this.
Just
High
me.
five.
Yeah.
Let's not be celebrating failure. Celebrate my success.
Question 2.
All right. Question 2. If you heat water and alcohol up, which will evaporate first? The answer is alcohol. This is how distilling works, by boiling off and collecting the alcohol while leaving the rest of the liquid behind. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and ethanol boils at around 78 degrees Celsius.
And that's also why if you cook with alcohol, the alcohol usually burns off and uses
Yep.
flavor.
It's delicious.
Who got that? I got that, and Chan got that.
I did not.
This is close.
Michael, I
Close
put
race.
alcohol science in here thinking that this would be your highlight.
I appreciate that.
Trying to
You
help
did
you.
actually. You said something a second ago that seemed pretty smart, Mr. Smarty Pants.
I can get a smart thing out every once in a while.
Number 3.
All right. What happens to the vast majority of the alcohol you ingest? Does it A, your kidneys filter it out of the blood and expel it as urine? B, you breathe it out? C, you sweat it out? Or D, your liver breaks it down? The answer is D. Your liver breaks down more than 90% of the alcohol you ingest. That's the liver's job, processing toxins.
Really?
But long term, heavy drinking can lead to liver inflammation. Heavy drinking also increases your risk of liver cancer. And I say cheers to that.
I can hear the cirrhosis of your liver forming right now.
I'm sure.
I always thought you peed most of it out. This is why I've been drinking my alcohol pee all these years. I should have been just
Not
chewing
drinking
on
it.
my liver, I guess. I don't know.
Number 4.
All right. Who wrote the 3 laws of robotics, which were proposed to govern robotic behavior? Was it A?
Question?
He
Was it
drunk when he wrote
A?
them. Go ahead.
Was it A, Jimmy Carter, B, Isaac Asimov, or C, Albert Einstein?
Did you already write your answer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
We all got this one.
Yeah,
it's come up many
yeah.
times on the podcast. The answer is...
The answer is B, Isaac Asimov,
Goddamn
he introduced this concept in the 1942 short story Runaround, and is also credited with the first use of the term robotics in a previous short story.
Boom, shakalaka.
Nice.
Isaac A with the win. This is the last question. This is the one that's going to decide it all. We were at 3, 3, and 2 going into this. How's it going to come out?
All right, the last question. In the 5th century BC, there was what is considered local modern-day Italy. There was what was considered the first recorded robot. Was it A, a clock that ran on potato acid, B, a mechanical bird that ran on compressed air, or C, none of the above?
Or anything else. Italians not famous for their potato acid.
The answer is B, a mechanical bird, which some considered as a friend of Plato's to be the first of robotic engineering.
Nice.
Did you say a friend of Plato?
Yeah.
I didn't know he had robot friends.
Is that like saying a fellow traveler? Like a communist?
Wait, Plato was a communist?
Yes.
Plato and his robot friend were communists? I did not pay nearly enough attention in history
I'm
class.
going to rethink all of my platonic relationships. Chan and I got that. Michael Busch did not get that one.
I didn't get many at all.
The total, Channing number 7, Chacho number 7, Michael Busch, a respectable 3. It was a hard-fought battle. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. If people were to look for you, where might they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at 24, that is 24 Star Fleet, or on Facebook at Chupa with a Mother with an A, Flippin',
With an A?
apostrophe I-N.
There's no apostrophes.
There's no
If they type in apostrophe, they're going to...
It is Chupa Mother Flipping Cabra, just how it sounds on Facebook.
Don't spell out or use the word apostrophe.
That's true, that's true.
Thanks, Liz.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
It's time for a cartoon.
Cave paintings were actually animated?
Wow.
Chacho here with Chan and our guest Michael Busch.
Hi.
Are you saying that Pixar has been with us from the beginning?
I'm saying The Simpsons has never not been around.
And they look just like they did in the 80s with the Tracy Ullman show.
Santa's Little Helper was one of the earliest cave paintings. I just like this because I love animation, and they're just some guys doing research on cave paintings, and it seems like there's a lot of them that there's cave paintings that have like 12 or 16 legs, like a deer that have too many legs. And in the past, they
Why
thought,
have I never seen that before?
oh, these painters were just dumb fucks with painting too many legs. But then they're looking at it, if you look at it the way you're supposed to look at them by firelight.
Like with Magic Eye? Were they doing Magic Eye back then? Just
If you
focus
cross
on
your
this
eyes,
point and just look
that
at
would
it.
be awesome, but they
and
have-
then
if
just
there's
say that you see it because everybody else is saying that they
3D
see
paintings
it.
where you
I
just
have
cross
never
your eyes.
seen those fucking Magic Eyes.
Oh, you're missing out, man. They're so cool
I don't
looking.
think it exists.
It's always a sailboat.
Me and Michael have seen them. All the sailboats.
Just books and books of the same sailboat.
Shut up, just tell them it's a sailboat. The way some of these paintings were developed was apparently they used some of the contours in the wall, and they use forms like stalactites or other like calcium deposits in such a way that when light hits at a different angle, such as it would with a flickering fire, you see the different sets of legs depending on which way the fire is flickering. So what's really cool is when you look at some of these paintings by firelight, it looks like the deer is running, or it looks like the bison is bowing his head over and eating or whatever.
So what you're saying is that these people went to these caves, paid their money at the box office, went in to see a picture of a deer running for how long? Just sat there like, man, there ain't no story. There's no dialogue. There's just this animation.
Well,
Looks great. I
there's
mean,
probably-
fucking beautiful, like 3D animation.
It's probably an open mic, and somebody was telling jokes based on fire and the wheel.
Well, wasn't the first movie or one of the first movies just a train going through a tunnel?
I always thought that was part of like a longer thing. Was it
Lumiere?
just that?
One of the
think
first
that was-
animation was a running horse. Back when there was like the spinning
the zoetropes?
zoetropes, yeah, where you look through a slit and you see it. I think what you're thinking about with the train is maybe one of the first broadcast programs, or maybe that was one of the first films.
I think
It's that famous one where the train is coming right at the audience.
Yeah, everybody freaks
and they
out.
all freak out and scream because they think they're gonna stupid idiots in the
Stupid
20th
dumb
century.
dummies. Of course, I jumped when that scene in The Hobbit where the dragon came out. It looked pretty real. It's 48 frames per second. It's pretty intense.
Is it good?
Did it look too real?
It was too real.
Yeah.
It was actually real enough. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it looking more real
Yeah.
because that's the trajectory of animation. You start with paintings on a wall that just makes a friggin' horse, and then you go to the zoetropes, which is just a horse in a little spinny thing, and then you get to the train that freaks you out, and then you get to movies where you get an entire story told on the wall, and then you get to television, which is a story told on a teeny tiny wall in your house, and then you get to virtual reality where you see the shit live right in front of you, and it looks just like it looks like right here. And then Salma Hayek gives you a hand job. That is the pinnacle of animation technology. And it looks
Evolution
realer
of
than
cinema.
real, and it feels realer than real. So, no, 48 frames per second does not look too real to me.
Okay, fair
This
enough.
is a step on the way to Salma Hayek from Desperado giving me a hand job. This is important shit.
Were you touching yourself when you watched The Hobbit? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
If you mean, was I punching myself in row D? Yes. Yes, I was.
I did see Harold and Kumar in 3D, and there was a scene where Tom Lennon threw a bunch of cocaine everywhere, and I jumped up thinking that I was going to
This raises an interesting point.
briefly feel happy.
I don't know that I trust this entirely. There's a horse on the wall that's animated around, yada, yada, yada. I won't buy it until they discover a picture of a woman with big old titties diddling herself.
Rogering.
Yeah, that would make no sense. You know what? If they found that, then that would really lend credence to my argument. Porn is always a thing that pushes technologies. So I would expect to find ladies doing the
This is a good point.
Maybe they jerked off to horses back then.
Running
those
horses.
sick fucks. Oh my god, I hadn't even considered that
Does that
idea.
work?
Like we're descended from fucking
Maybe we need to
best
do some
bestiality.
science. We need to do some experiments.
What, jerking off to horses to see if that works for
Just
you?
different cave paintings. One of them's got to be porn.
We're gonna need a lot of firelight. And I'm just gonna have
All right,
to,
everybody at home, pull up all the images you can find on the internet of cave paintings.
Light a
light
fire
some
in your living
candles.
room.
Light some candles and tell us which ones, quote unquote, work.
That's our show.
And that's our show. Thank you very much to Delightful, the inimitable, the very special guest, Michael Busch.
Hey, that's me. Thanks for having me, guys.
right. we did it.
Absolutely. It was fun.
I learned a lot.
We all did. We all did. We learned a little bit about ourselves. We learned
Too
a
much
little
about
bit.
Dave.
A little too
Yep.
much about each other.
Yep. All of those
Probably
things.
going to cut out a lot of the stuff that I admitted to you guys here today.
Where can they find you online if they wanted to find you?
On Twitter at Michael_Busch. You can follow me on Instagram, I guess. And the Michael Busch.
What's your favorite subject for Instagramming? You do food?
I do animals eating food.
Ooh.
Just combine the
that's
two.
cute.
So
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you put funny captions underneath them.
the funniest.
Iced coffee.
Oh, do you spell has wrong?
Oh, you stupid
So
cat.
cute.
And any upcoming things that people in Los Angeles they might want to go see? or-
When will this go online?
The first week of 2013. Happy New Year, by the way.
Hey, Happy New Year!
If you're in the future listening to this, you are in a different year.
Yeah, I have Nick's Big Talk Show coming up on the second Sunday of January, or the second Thursday, and L Show is the third Sunday of January. So come and check those out.
Are those both once a monthers?
Yes, they are.
Monthlies.
Cool. And also the Midnight Show once a month?
Yes, Midnight Show is the first Saturday of every month, but this will be after that show, I believe, or maybe not. First Saturday, whenever that is.
You missed it. Go next month.
All right.
You can find us at ScienceJerks.com, at the Science Jerks on Twitter. I'm at 999 RPMs on Twitter.
At Dave Chacho. Email us at davechacho at the Science Jerk. No, not the Science. No, I got that totally wrong. Email us at chacho@sciencejerks.com or dave@sciencejerks.com.
Is there a link to email us on the webpage?
Yes.
Okay, then go do that.
Click the link.
So we don't have to figure it out.
Go to iTunes and click the little stars button.
We got
Rate
two,
leave a
them.
review.
we got
Rate the
two ratings.
show.
We got 2 5-star ratings, but no reviews
1,
yet.
2.
I don't even know. Can you do that? Can you like star your
Rate
own?
your own. I have not rated us yet. So some.
I'm afraid because I'm afraid they'll be like, "Hey, that's you," and then they'll like take us off iTunes. So I'm scared to do it. So somebody else, please
right.
rate and review us.
You can like your own status update on Facebook, so I think you can rate your
I
own.
do not.
I
do
never
that.
like
You
my
can.
own.
I do. It is
You
possible.
can if you actually like what you said. But you have to be honest about it.
Yeah, if you're filled with self-loathing, can't do it.
I always think it's funny when I'll see them post something and immediately like their own post.
There are a couple people I know who that's sort of their thing. That's sort of their online persona, and accept that that's what you do.
Are you upset because you feel like they're being insincere about their liking of it?
I just think it's funny.
I guess people feel like the algorithm that makes it go out to more people, it helps that if you click like or something.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't like anything.
Oh.
I know.
We will see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
I like punching myself in the nuts.
And we're out. Monkeys.